Hello, welcome to the Zebra Marketing Show. And today we are going to talk about how to make irresistible offers and transform your messaging so that customers actually turn around and they pay attention and they uh, turn from prospects into customers. At the end of the day, that's what we're all looking for, is to grow our business. And we may bring something incredible to the market. We have something incredible to offer, our services, maybe we have products, and those things are making a difference in the companies of the customers you work with. But maybe it's not as easy as you would like to make those deals, to close those sales. So today we're going to talk about how to focus on the results, because at the end of the day, people buy results, and they want to know what they're going to get out of it, even down to their very first interaction with you. People buy results. So my name's Laura Camrath. I'm CEO of Zebra Marketing. We help B2B companies in IT, cybersecurity, tech, and sometimes oil and gas to get more out of their marketing. So we may have something incredible to bring to our customers, but we might need some help to put in place the systems that can actually help get that message and those offers out there. So we help companies put in place the systems for predictable sales and hockey stick growth. If that's something that you guys are looking for, I would love to have a conversation with you. All right. So definitely, if this conversation today is helpful for you, drop a like, drop a comment, ask questions. If you have a question, I will be back to answer questions later. If you drop one in the comments, I will be back to take a look at that and answer your questions. And also, if you know of anyone in your network who would benefit from this conversation, please do share it. And that just helps us engage better together as a community, and helps other people in our network to improve and optimize what they're doing as well. All right, so let's hop into our conversation today about results-driven offers. Ooh, my allergies are terrible today. Oh my gosh. So stop selling services. And I see this in technical businesses all the time. We talked about this a little bit last week, but when it comes to your offers, people in technical businesses all the time, they are so happy and excited about all the technical little things that their products and services do, that they get lost in that. And it's kind of like a thinking of it in terms of what we want, or we think about, how we think about our services from our internal point of view. And that's how we end up communicating with our customers. But you have to keep in mind, the customer is not thinking the same way that we are. And we're thinking about it because we're thinking about, like, oh, what are all the things that are included, and what are all the things we're going to do, and what is really exciting about this technically. But your customer doesn't care about what is exciting about it technically. Maybe they do just enough to believe it's really going to do that. But if you take a look at this hiker, this man, he's standing in front of what looks kind of like the Grand Canyon. And he's looking out there like, how the heck am I going to get to the other side of this? And, obviously it looks like a big canyon. So he's probably thinking, maybe there's just no way. Like, there's no way I can get to the other side of this. And, if you think back to the days of Lewis and Clark, and they were pioneering across the United States before it was the United States, they were just trying to get to the other side. And if they came across a chasm like this, what would have gone through their minds? They want to get to the other side. But that's going to be a big challenge. So this is the same thing your clients are experiencing. They're like, okay, we want a secure business. We want reduced risk. We want to make money. We want all these things, but standing in the way of that is some sort of chasm. Maybe there's increased threats to their cybersecurity infrastructure and their network because of AI. Maybe there's all kinds of things that are in this chasm that are keeping them from getting the results that they desire. And at the end of the day, they want to be on the other side. They want the results. They want the happily ever after. They want their secure business. They want their steady stream of new sales opportunities. They want, all these things they want to be. They want those things to be in existence in their company. And, they don't necessarily care so much about how they get there. They just want those results. And so, for example, this guy in this picture, he wants to get to the other side. Maybe he wants a bridge. There should be a bridge because a bridge is going to help him get to the other side. But ultimately, he doesn't care about, is it going to be a metal bridge? Is it going to be a wooden bridge? Is it going to be a suspension bridge? Is it going to be a bridge with beams supported from the bottom? Is it going to be, there's like so many options of what kind of bridge it can be. At the end of the day, he just wants to be on the other side. So, maybe he's going to come up to the edge of this canyon and he's going to see maybe 3 bridges. Maybe one's a suspension bridge. One's a bridge with pillars coming up from the bottom. One's a bridge that's made of metal. I don't know. So he's going to pick based on which one he expects is most reliably going to get him to the other side. Like, he certainly doesn't want the bridge to break in the middle and he crashes to the bottom of the chasm. But at the end of the day, he's not sitting there wondering how many planks are in the suspension bridge. He's not thinking how many cables are wrapped around to make one cable. He's not thinking all of these little details. He's thinking, what is the best way for me to get to the other side? So why do some offers get ignored? Imagine you're looking at 2 companies' websites. One company says, hey, book a free consultation. The other company says, discover how to reduce cybersecurity risk across your business. Which one are you probably going to go with more? Do you want a free consultation? Well, first of all, using the word free in a lot of our minds makes it sound like has no value. We kind of equate free with no value or bad or crappy value, like, oh, this is free. It must not be worth very much, or they wouldn't give it away for free. Or the other one says, discover how to reduce cybersecurity risk across your business. So from that offer exactly what to expect. It's the same phone call. It's the same meeting, but it's communicated in terms of the value the customer is going to get. So it describes the outcome. It describes getting to the other side of the chasm. The buyer immediately understands the value and why they should say yes. If they want to know what their cybersecurity risk looks like and how to reduce it, they'll book a call. So if they want a free consultation, they're going to be thinking, what are we going to do in that consultation? Why should I spend my time? Is it going to be a waste of my time? Is it just them trying to sell me stuff? When it's framed as, hey, it's a free consultation, like that's like us centric. That's internal think. Like, yeah, we want them to book a free consultation because we want to sell to them, obviously. But, this is not a one-sided conversation, just like us clobbering them over the head with what we want them to buy. Like, this is us trying to help them. So what are we trying to help them do? We want to communicate that to them. Let them know this is how we're going to help you and what we're going to help you with, what we're going to help you achieve in this 30 minutes with us. Why it's worth spending 30 minutes with us, because if we don't communicate that, they're just going to be like, what's in it for me? And if it's not clear what they're going to walk away with, they're not going to book a call because they have no reason to, and their day is busy and they have a lot to do. So, we want to think in terms of how do we help them get the results they're looking for? Nobody wants what you're selling. So, they don't want features. They don't want like, oh, here's all the bells and whistles. They want to know how they're going to get to the other side of the chasm. So nobody wakes up thinking, I really hope I buy managed IT services today. They wake up thinking, I need to protect my company. I need fewer outages. I need to pass compliance. I need predictable growth. They're thinking, I need to be on the other side of the chasm. They're not thinking, what kind of bridge is this? And how many planks are on it? And what are the planks made of? And is it, they're thinking, I want to be on the other side. I need the results. And yes, then I want to know that when I climb onto that bridge, it's not going to break. It's going to be sturdy, and I'm going to get to the other side reliably, quickly, and safely. They want the reasons to believe that they are truly going to get those results, but they don't need, the primary message shouldn't be, here's all of our features. So, hey, we sell cloud security is like not that, so what? So what does that mean for me as a customer? And, I see technical businesses and technical people, do this all the time where, they're so excited about their technical stuff that the entire message becomes all about the technical stuff. When, the technical stuff may be important as a reason to believe the customer is going to get the results you're promising. But first you have to communicate with them what results they can expect. So, so your features and your, stuff, your technical stuff is the bridge. So that stuff is of course important, but you have to start with the results and communicate to them, what the other side looks like, the other side of the canyon. So people don't buy the bridge. They buy getting to the other side. So we've got on one side, we have their current situation. What are they currently experiencing? So, whoopsies. Whoa. Okay. What are they currently experiencing that is their undesired, before state? So they're in some kind of pain right now, or they wouldn't be looking for somebody like you or talking to you in the first place. So they're in some kind of pain. They are Lewis and Clark, and they just came up to the edge of the Grand Canyon, and they're saying, oh my God, how do I get to the other side of this? So they're in some kind of pain. They're having outages, or there's risk, or there's inefficiency, or there's perceived outages or perceived risk, or they're worried about the potential for these things. There's a danger, there's a risk. So there's a pain that they're experiencing. If you go all the way the other side, there's the desired future: security, growth, productivity, peace of mind, all of these desired future where, there's the desired after state. There's the happily ever after. There's some kind of happily ever after that they're looking for. And in the middle is your offer. And, this is all the way from your actual potentially, we call them lead magnets, or the sort of the bait you put out there to say, hey, let's help you get a quick win. And, we can get people sort of on the hook for a quick win. That then leads into higher level engagements, like a complimentary consultation, which, we're going to frame in terms of the value that it delivers. And, all the way up to making a small offer or a big offer to them. But the offers need to be framed in terms of the desired results. And then in the middle is your bridge. It's your solution. So here is where you talk about, here are the reasons to believe that this bridge is going to work. This bridge is going to be safe. This bridge is going to be quick to travel, and you're going to get to the other side. You're going to get what you're looking for reliably, safely, and quickly, with, lower level of effort on your part, because, people buy based on, do I really believe I'm going to get the results? How much effort is it going to take for us to get those results? And, how much is it going to cost? So if you can show them like it's going to be affordable, it's not going to require massive effort on your part, we're going to take care of everything, and here's all the reasons you should believe you're going to actually get the desired results, people will buy all day long. And, the things you want to think about that, what are your customers really looking for? They're not looking for like, hey, this has a dashboard with 12 widgets. No, they're looking for maybe increased revenue and sales pipeline. They're looking for security and compliance. They're looking for operational excellence. They want to make sure that their customers have a good experience. They're looking for peace of mind, knowing, especially, companies are made up of people. If the person who was your buyer is, looking at your solution, they want to know that, their neck is on the chopping block. Like, they want to know that this is going to work out the way you promised, and they're going to get the desired results. So they're looking for, peace of mind in both what you offer and, if they're thinking like, hey, my company could get hacked and I'm going to be the one responsible, and then I'm not going to get my promotion, or I could get fired, heaven forbid. They're also looking for peace of mind in their business. So if what you're delivering is risk reduction, and securing your business, sell that. People buy results. So nobody's just buying technology for the sake of technology. They're buying technology because of the results it's going to give them. So like I said, I see all the time technical people want to offer features, and they think in terms of features because that's what we see on the inside of the business, but we're not thinking in terms of what the customer cares about is outcomes. So stop selling things that sound like, endpoint detection and response, SOC monitoring, managed detection and response, penetration testing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, these are bridge names. Only technical buyers know what they mean. And even if you are a technical buyer and you do know what they mean, you still don't know, like, what does that mean for me? What is that going to do for me? So you want to start selling like this. We help manufacturers reduce the risk of ransomware shutting down production, so operations keep running and revenue stays protected. Now buyers immediately understand why it matters, who it's for, and what's at stake. The technical capabilities are still there. They're just framed around the outcome that actually drives the buying decision. So, it sounds a lot more compelling to the customer when you talk to them about reducing their risk of ransomware shutting down their production so their operations can keep running and revenue can stay protected. Those are real outcomes. That's outcome-based selling. And then also stop listing and start promising. So if you're like, hey, we give you help desk support and managed IT services and network monitoring and patch management. Yeah, this is what you do, not what they get out of it. So prospects say, oh, okay, that's nice. Thanks. And then they go to your competitor. In the outcome way, you say something like this. We help growing businesses eliminate costly downtime so employees stay productive and leaders can focus on growth, not IT problems. So it actually speaks to the actual worries going through your, business owner customer's mind. They're worried about lost time, lost revenue, and a team that can't do its best work because they're being blocked for some reason. If you can say, hey, we're going to unblock your team, make sure that you recover lost time, you're going to recover lost revenue. Like they've got dollar signs going through their mind. They're like, oh, time is money. Like, yeah, let's do this thing. I think you've got migration versus momentum. So what you are saying now may sound something like this. We provide Microsoft 365 migrations. What the buyer hears is, oh, this sounds like a technical project, potential disruptions to my operations, uncertain value. We don't really know what we're going to get out of this. The buyer's thinking, will this disrupt my team? How long is it going to be down? Is this worth it? And, they're worrying about business continuity, not the technical process itself. So what should you say instead? We help organizations modernize their workplace with minimal disruption so teams collaborate better from day one. So right there, you're squashing one of their objections, which is probably, oh my God, how long is this going to take? And are we going to have downtime? And we can't afford downtime. And this sounds like a real pain in the butt. And, so you want to explain to them clearly what they can expect, what outcome are they going to get, and then crush their objections if possible. If you can anticipate their objections in advance and crush them before they even have the opportunity to voice them to you, they're going to say, wow, these guys really understand what we're dealing with. So, buyers care deeply about disruption. They care about the potential negative aspects. The actual technical process, they don't care so much about. So actually speaking about the things that they fear and, squashing those objections is, another great thing to think about in your offers. So you want to sell the destination, including on your website, which, people want to know what you do and who you are. If they find out about you somewhere else, they're going to go to your website and say, what do these guys do? Who are they? So When they get to your website, a lot of companies, they start with the company. Who is the company? Not the buyer. They lead with years in business, certifications, service lists. But every visitor is silently asking one question: what's in it for me? So if you have a generic homepage, maybe your homepage says something that sounds like, we've been serving businesses for 25 years. Or sometimes I see companies like they add 5 people's 25 years together and like, oh, we have a combined 357 years of experience. It's like, what does that even mean? And then something like, we provide innovative, cutting edge IT solutions. Okay, who cares? Our team is passionate about technology. Well, that's nice. So what? How does that help me? If you have an outcome focused homepage, maybe it says something that sounds a little bit more like this: we help growing businesses eliminate downtime, pass compliance audits, and scale with confidence. And the buyer says, oh, that's exactly what I was looking for. So you may be offering the same thing. It's how you communicate it. And communicating it in terms of outcomes is going to win all day long over communicating it based on features or technical mumbo jumbo or, generic internal thought process language. And so, replacing every sentence that's about you or about the internal thought process, with a sentence about what changes for your buyer after working with you. And buyers buy confidence. They want to believe. So when you present the outcome, hey, this is what we're going to help you achieve. Here's the pain we're going to keep you away from, because 80% of the time buyers buy to get away from pain. So 80% of the time they're trying to get away from some sort of pain that they have. 20% of the time they're trying to maximize something. So like, we want to make more money, or we want to, I don't know, expand our customer base, or, something like that. So they want confidence. So you promise them reduced downtime, for example. So they want to buy that. They're like, yeah, we want to reduce our downtime. Now we talk about the reasons to believe. So why should you be confident that we are going to get you across the chasm to the other side, that this bridge is going to hold your weight and you're going to quickly and easily and effortlessly get to the other side of the chasm? That's all of the features and benefits now. Now you show them why you should believe that this is going to work for you. And again, it's not just about like, hey, we have a dashboard with 10 widgets on it. It's, it's like, it's also showing them case studies and white papers and your certifications. It's like, yes, we are certified. Yes, now we talk about our experience as a company. We talk about our experience in helping customers just like you. If you, and this is why sometimes it's better to do what we call niching down, which is pick a niche, pick a market segment and say, hey, we're going to serve these types of businesses, because then you can really speak to their unique pain points. If you're serving dentists, for example, you know exactly what dentists struggle with and how to speak their language. And so while you could also help, I don't know, somebody who owns a smoothie factory do something similar, perhaps, if you're speaking to too many people, it's not that you can't help both kinds of people. It's just that they don't hear you. So, once you communicate the outcome results based language, then you give them the reasons to believe. Why should you believe that this is going to actually get the results that we've promised? So, talking about, hey, I'm going to give you a free consultation. Again, like, people don't buy free consultations. It doesn't mean anything to them. All they hear is they're going to try to sell me stuff and I'm going to waste my time. And they also hear there's no value in this with the word free. They hear, no such thing as a free lunch. There's no such thing as a free consultation. They're going to expect something from me. They're going to want me to sign up. They're going to pressure me. It's going to be salesy, and no. So what you want to do is reframe that offer. It's an offer. It's not you trying to clobber them over that phone, the head, and get them on the phone. This is helping them. You're helping them in some way. So how are you helping them? Maybe it's a cybersecurity risk review. Buyers know they'll receive a clear picture of their current exposure and where they're most vulnerable. Or maybe it's a pipeline opportunity assessment. Revenue-focused leaders understand immediately. This reveals where deals are being lost and why. Or an AI readiness assessment. Decision makers learn where AI can deliver measurable ROI in their specific business environment. So give them an outcome. Help them get a quick win. And, if you have, this is like, sort of the hook with the worm on it. How are you going to catch that fish? And if you're putting a hook out there with no worm on it, what kind of fish is going to bite on that? They're not. So think of what can you offer that's going to give them a quick win, add value, and help them get a little closer to solving their problem. Make the results tangible. So vague promises create hesitation. If there's too many things to think about, they're just gonna, there is risk in making decisions. So if they have to make a bunch of decisions to say yes, the safest thing for them to do is nothing, because at every point they're saying, what if I make the wrong decision? So make it easy for them. Give the specific outcome. And when you tell a buyer exactly what they'll walk away with, you eliminate that uncertainty. So uncertainty is the number one reason prospects delay decisions. If you ask them to make too many decisions, if there are too many options, if things are not clear, they are just going to walk away, because the safest thing for them to do is nothing, or go with a competitor who does make everything clear for them and easy for them. So instead of saying something like, we'll hop on a call and talk through your business goals. So I already know my business goals. Why do I need to talk about them to you? What are they going to get out of spending an hour talking about their business goals that they already know about? Who cares? So, say something more like, you'll leave with 3 specific opportunities to improve your pipeline immediately, or reduce your risk immediately. Your biggest conversion gaps and what's causing them, a prioritized action plan where you can implement this quarter, clear recommended next steps tailored to your situation. Tell them what they're going to leave with. What are they going to get out of this? So they're understanding, the value before the conversation even starts. So telling them what they're going to get out of it is much more compelling than saying, hey, let's hop on a call and talk about your business goals. It's like, I already know my business goals. I don't need to talk about them with you. And that again just makes me think I'm going to hop on this call and they're going to try and sell me stuff. And that's the whole entire purpose of this call. Versus, oh, I'm going to hop on this call and I'm going to walk away with 5 ways to reduce the risk in my business. Wow. Like that's worth spending half an hour to find out what that could look like. We call the worm on the hook when you're out fishing, we call that a lead magnet. And a lead magnet is something of value that helps people get a quick win that they would be willing to give their contact information for to get that thing in exchange for it. So if you offer people a white paper, it's like really you're just talking about yourself and you're not giving an outcome to the customer. Like, yeah, you're showing them how it worked for somebody else, perhaps, or you're showing them a reason to believe, but you're not really giving them anything of value. So what can you give to them that has enough value that can give them a quick win? That's ultra specific, not like, hey, here's an online course that you can go through that's going to take 5 days for you to find out how to do A, B, C, D, E, and F. No, like we're going to help you do A. We're going to show you how to do it quickly and get the results fast. And guess what? When you give them a quick win, just like when, you go to the grocery store and you take a little sample of cheese from Kroger's and you're like, wow, that was some good cheese. And next thing you're walking out with a container of it. Yeah. When you give them a quick win and show them how you help people get results, they're going to say, oh, wow, I get it now. I see how valuable this is. And I'm ready for a whole container of cheese. I'm ready for the core offer. Or maybe the next offer up. I'm ready to move ahead and see what else, because I understand the value now. So something like a cybersecurity readiness scorecard or a AI readiness assessment or MSP growth benchmark, you're giving them an ultra specific. So it needs to answer one question, not 12 different questions. One question. Help them get one quick win, move them towards one outcome. And, when you help them do that, you not only give them a quick win, help them understand the value that you offer, but it also then gives you the opportunity to continue marketing to that person. And AI doesn't fix weak offers. So, this across the board, AI sort of helps you amplify whatever is foundationally what you're working with. If you don't have the right foundations, AI isn't going to fix this for you. So, you want a strong foundation. You need first and foremost to identify, what is the biggest problem that my customer is facing as it pertains to what I do. And what are they struggling with? And how are we going to help them solve that problem? So what does this side of the Grand Canyon look like? And what is the other side of the Grand Canyon? Like, what does that look like for them? So you want to show them, you want a clear idea of what they're dealing with in terms of their problem. And you want to be able to make an offer that shows them that what you do is going to solve that problem. So if your offer is confusing and then you throw it into AI, it's going to come out confusing because, AI's job is to help you work through some stuff, but it's not going to fix it if it's broken at the core. So make sure you take the time to understand who is my customer and what is the problem they are dealing with as it pertains to what I do. And then how is my solution going to get them to the outcome that they're looking for? And how do I clearly communicate that in a way that they see the value? Customer test. So before you publish any offer, call to action, or landing page headline, run it through this simple filter. It takes 30 seconds and it will tell you whether you're selling the bridge or the destination. Remove the words consultation, demo, assessment, and discovery call from your offer. Without those words, can the buyer still clearly understand what they'll achieve by saying yes? If the answer is yes, you're selling the destination. Your offer communicates clear, specific value. Buyers understand what changes for them and publish it with confidence. If, on the other hand, your answer is no, then you're probably still selling the bridge. Your offer leans on jargon and activity names, and the value isn't clear without the label. Rewrite it around the outcome before it goes live. So go run this across every one of your offers. Is it clear what you're offering, the outcome that they're going to achieve? Or are you still talking about this, what you offer in terms of how you think of it? Every offer should answer one question. What will be different after I say yes? If your buyer can't answer that question after reading your website, your pitch deck, or your sales email, your offer isn't clear enough yet. And if your buyer can't answer it, neither can your sales team, your website, or your marketing automation. So, marketing is, marketing starts with the foundations. So if you think about your marketing as like a bullseye target, and you've got 3 concentric rings, on the very inside is what am I offering, and what is, and who am I offering it to? And on the next concentric ring is what is unique and different about the way that we offer this thing. And then on the very outside, the very last thing is communications. How are we going to push this message out into the market? So a lot of us think of marketing as a website and Google ads and LinkedIn ads and LinkedIn posts and emails and trade shows. And like, that is the very last thing that we think about when it comes to marketing. And if that is what you think marketing is, then you are missing the very fundamental foundations of what marketing truly is. Marketing does not start with some emails or some website content or some blog post or some LinkedIn posts. Marketing starts with who are we and who do we serve and what are the problems they are dealing with? And then how do we solve those problems better above and beyond anyone else in our market? And then you take that message and you put it in your posts, in your website, in your emails, in your ads. But if you haven't gone back and made sure that those foundations are clear and solid, then you are wasting money on your marketing. If you are spending money on marketing and you haven't gone through this exercise, you are wasting money. And we call that, pouring water into a leaky bucket. Like, it is just pouring out of the holes. Because, people might be seeing your ads and saying, that's nice. So what's in it for me? I don't care. And so if you're worried about the ROI that you're getting on marketing, this could be why. So make sure that this is something that you pay attention to, because it is really important foundationally to everything that you do. Key takeaways. The shift from selling services to selling outcomes isn't a marketing trick. It's a fundamental reframe of how buyers experience your offer and why they choose to say yes. Buyers don't buy IT services, cybersecurity, AI tools, consulting engagements, websites, or CRM. You know, these are bridges. The buyers tolerate them. They don't get excited about them. It's just like, oh, it's a bridge. That's nice. So, buyers buy security and peace of mind. They buy revenue growth and predictability. They buy productivity and fewer interruptions. They buy confidence to make bold decisions. They buy a future that looks better than today, the happily ever after. They buy destinations. Always sell the destination, not the bridge. So go back and identify the destinations for your customer. What are they trying to achieve? What outcome are they after? And then check your offers. If they need to be reframed, reframe your offers, and then sell the future. Sell the happily ever, not the features, not the technical mumbo jumbo. Sell the outcome. What is it that they can expect from working with you? So if you feel like your company could improve, if this is something you feel like you might need help with, drop the word results in the comments below, and let's hop on a call together and let's talk about how to improve the way you communicate your offers, how to make them outcome focused, how to be able to communicate the value that you provide clearly to your customers, because when you do that, they will say yes all day long. So I would love to hop on and talk about that with you if that's something you think that your company can improve, or if you would like to see, I can take a look at those things and see if there's room for improvement, or you can optimize that. All right. My name again is Laura Camrath. I am CEO of Zebra Marketing. We help cybersecurity, IT, and tech companies who have something incredible to bring to their market or their audience, where they help them tremendously to get some value and some results, but they may need a little bit of help with their marketing strategy and implementing systems to help them get predictable sales and hockey stick growth that they can be confident in month over month, quarter over quarter, and year over year. So I would love to hop on a call with you if that's something you would like to do, to talk about your offers and how you're framing it and communicating it with your clients. Drop the word results and let's hop on a call together. And again, if this has been a useful and valuable conversation for you, please do like, share with your network, comment. If you have questions, drop a comment with your question, and I will be back around to answer questions and help you out with that. So I will be live here every Wednesday. We are live at 11 a.m. Central Time, and we are talking about incredible ways to grow your business. Everything from strategy questions like we talked about today, and making value focused offers, to implementing the latest AI technology for your marketing automation to help you be more efficient and have a higher ROI in your marketing. And if any of these are things that you think your company could benefit from some help with or optimize, would love to hop on a call with you and talk about that. All right. I look forward to seeing you next week. I hope you have a great week, and we will talk to you soon.